Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Welcome to the show here in Punta Gorda, Florida, where today our storm-ready house is nearly done. Today we're going to be showing you finishing details. We're installing a Brazilian walnut floor directly over a concrete slab, and we'll show you how you can do that so it won't fail, and some interesting window treatments, including a new type of sliding shade that's perfect for patio doors. Stick around. It's good to have you with us. We're putting down hardwood floors on our concrete slab, and these fellows are the installers. And Jesse Bartuesek is with us from Bellawood to explain a little bit about the process. First of all, we're using this beautiful, what is it, Brazilian?
Brazilian walnut.
Yeah, Brazilian walnut. And as you can see, it's solid. It's not a laminated product. And I've always thought that installing hardwood directly over a concrete slab is a bit of a challenge. What's been done to prep the situation?
After we test for moisture content, then we then apply a concrete sealer to prevent any incremental moisture coming through. This is a moisture barrier to eliminate any moisture coming up through the concrete slab and then actually cupping the wood.
Yeah, that's the biggest danger. If you've got moisture coming up through the slab, that will eventually make its way into the wood and cause the wood to swell a bit, usually cupping like that, so that you get kind of an irregular wave throughout the floor.
Correct.
And then the actual adhesive that's being used is something special that interacts with that sealer?
Yeah, both the products are actually polyurethane based. And those are the only thing that Bellawood recommends using as installation process.
1/4-inch notch trowel?
Yeah, that's going to be specific to the thickness of the product and the width of the boards.
Gotcha. Now, in a situation like this where you're not nailing it down, speed really is going to be a major factor, right?
Oh, definitely. You usually only have about half hour, 45 minutes to work with this glue. After that, it sets up to a point where you can't move.
You can't touch it.
Mm-mm.
So they have to really pay attention to all their pre-cutting and their laying out.
It's definitely helpful. It will make the process go a little bit quicker. But if you've obviously experienced like these guys, they can do it as they go.
Oh, I love this. He's just using a rubber mallet, just hitting it on the face. And he's got clearly a lot of experience at doing that. Now, why do you need to tape it down?
Well, with this glue, it's a memory-based glue, and what happens, you set it in the glue and you slightly shift the product. The boards have a tendency to pull back or separate from one another, so we put the tape on there to hold it tight.
To keep the tight joints. Look at him go. This is the hard part.
This is what they call racking it out.
Racking it out.
And I got a little glue in between the seam there.
If you get any of the glue up on the surface, is it water soluble? Or?
No, actually you have to use a stronger adhesive remover.
Right. Well, clearly they've had a lot of experience at this. Jesse, the pattern and the coloration tends to vary a fair amount, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Now, this is called Brazilian walnut?
Yeah, otherwise known as Ipe.
Ipe, okay. Well, I'm familiar with Ipe and its unfinished use for decking material and outside work. It's a very dense wood that's very, very long lasting. Tell us about the finish that's put on it.
Well, this is Bellawood's finish. It provides 8 layers of an aluminum oxide finish that has been UV dried between layers. They offer 50 years of a guarantee.
Yeah, this has a 50-year wear guarantee, doesn't it? And what's the approximate cost?
On this particular product, Bellawood sells it at $4.95.
$4.95. And the taping and stuff needs to stay on for a day or so?
Well, at least 4 hours before you can take it off, but they recommend 24.
Great. Okay, well, this makes for a very elegant installation. Thanks for coming on. One of the mistakes that a lot of people make when remodeling or building from scratch is not budgeting enough money for the fittings, as in the kitchen sink fittings, the faucet, or then the bathrooms. And Dan Gerry's with us, our plumber. Isn't it true that, you know, you don't want to have to be calling a plumber to do repairs on your kitchen faucet, so it makes sense to get some quality in there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, what have we got here?
We have a Moen, this would be the Moen diverter with a pull-out spray through the spout.
Yeah, I like that.
Very nice product, very easily maintained. Homeowners can repair this in 5 minutes.
Well, that's the thing today, because we have so many options in the world of plumbing. Some of it is very sophisticated and expensive, and when it comes time to do a repair,
Correct.
it can cost.
That's something you might want to think about when you're buying a faucet is availability of repair parts. No matter how well it's built, eventually it's going to have to be repaired.
Yeah, and if it was made in overseas, then sometimes it's not so easy.
Some of the parts aren't very common to find.
This looks like oil-rubbed bronze. I think it's a brass alloy. And what do you install first?
Usually we put the diverter in, then on this particular model it's got a spray that comes through here and hooks to the faucet here. And then what attaches this hose about midway in the loop is a weight we put on there, which will, when you go to put the sink back on, the weight will pull it down and suck it right up in there.
Retract it, right. What are you doing next?
Okay, what we've done after, we've hooked up the supply lines to the faucets itself, and then we take and tie them into our, what we call stops. They shut off the water up under the sink. It's required that way. If you do have a problem with something, you're not having to shut down the whole house.
Right.
You're able just to shut off the one fixture.
Copper pipe to cut.
No, sir. And that's pretty much it for the installation of the faucet.
Great. And then over here, we've got Jose, who's mounting the ceiling fan. This little mounting bracket, which is metal, of course, is one of the most important parts of the whole operation. The workbox itself has to be very securely mounted, and the fan is not that heavy, but still, when you're playing with ceiling fans, you want to make sure you're doing a good job. The big deal is Energy Star. We tried to create a house here that is Energy Star qualified, and from the point of view of the insulation and the type of windows and all sorts of different features. But then when it gets time to hang electrical fixtures and the like, it's nice to find fixtures that are rated Energy Star. This is a very nice kind of decorative ceiling fixture that's going in the front hall. It has kind of like a hammered bronze finish, but as you can see, we're using these fluorescent bulbs, which really, over the course of a year, provide a very big savings. And when you think about it, you've got, in a house like this, you've got a lot of new electrical appliances and TVs and computers and all of these things. And sometimes in Florida, not just during hurricane season, but in storms, you have to worry about power surges. So there's one way to control these, and I learned about it last week. Watch. So Harry, we're installing a surge protector. First question, what's a surge protector?
Well, a surge protector's designed to absorb any transients, any high voltage transients that come in on the power line, in this particular case, and in this area of the module, and on the telephone line, and or the cable TV, or satellite TV.
So this is a square D.
Yes, this is a square D all-house surge arrestor, and it's designed for both the power circuitry as well as the low voltage circuitry.
Okay.
Any transient that comes into the house normally would wipe out the electronics in all the dishwasher, in the computers, in televisions, and all the other devices that we have nowadays.
Right.
So it's important to stop that surge immediately before it gets into the house's wiring, and that's what this device does.
Terrific. How does it do it?
Well, there are a group of clamping diodes and other solid-state devices in here that conduct that high voltage to ground rather than allow it to go in the normal power lines.
Oh, well, that's simple enough. Great.
And the attachment, of course, for the telephone, the TV, and the power system is what he is wiring right now, and that's wired directly into the panel with a breaker to protect it. The unit has an indicator on it to tell if it's ever taken a heavy enough hit, then the light will go off. The indicator is right here, and the light is right here. If it is dark, then obviously at that point you need to replace it.
Can you also experience this kind of a power surge during a lightning storm?
Oh yes, by all means, and of course in this area of Florida, which has an extremely high lightning strike probability, why this device is almost imperative to have here.
Terrific. Thanks, Harry. Okay, the remote works. Very good. Here's the cover, Jose. And all of these are from Seagull Lighting, and although they look traditional, they're all Energy Star. Cindy O'Reilly is here with her helper, Lauren, and we're in the bamboo shade business, right?
Yes, we are.
How are you, Cindy?
Hi, Bob.
Now, I love the idea of natural blinds in the home, and what you're installing here is a different kind, right?
Yes, it's called a panel track. Perfect for vertical doors.
Yeah, and that's something you got in a lot of Florida houses and elsewhere, is big patio doors, sliding doors, and the like. And so this is an interesting solution because I've never seen them before. They're kind of like sliding bypass doors.
Yes, they are.
Now, how do you go about ordering something like this from Smith & Noble?
It's easy. We have a catalog and we have a website. Just read the instructions in the catalog. There's some fine print about measuring. You just measure the exact dimensions, and then we'll ask you to mount the headrail about 5 inches above the dimensions. So it's very easy.
It is. It's do-it-yourself stuff. What you've done so far involves the brackets, right?
Yes. Those are just L brackets, and then we put up a headrail, which has about 5 tracks here. And the tracks will depend on the width of the window.
Of course.
And now she's just putting the panels up with Velcro and then a few little screws.
Little screws in addition to the Velcro to make sure that they're on
so it's
secure.
nice and secure.
Well, this one you've already finished, right?
Yes. This is a panel track in our
So can I
bamboo.
operate this?
Yes.
Look at that.
It moves nice
One
and smoothly.
slides smoothly behind the other, and then, of course, when they're all open, it's just this width that you're still seeing, right?
Yes. If you'd like, you can get it mounted a little bit outside so that your overlap comes into a wall, but it's your choice.
Yeah, yeah. Now, measuring can still be a challenge for some people. Is there any way that you can get help?
We are developing a measure and installation program, but we're slowly rolling it out across the country.
Here, for example, you've got an 8-foot width. The opening is really big. I suppose most people would know that you don't really want one 8-foot width.
You see here that we've chosen 2 natural woven shades in the Roman shades so that there's not too much weight.
Right.
We split it.
And the break is right where
in the center,
the mutton between the 2 windows, so it's kind of a natural thing. Plus, it gives you an option having one down and having one up.
It's perfect, yes.
Now, these are with the Roman shades, right?
They are.
Flat Roman
And this
shades.
is a flat Roman shade, so it'll give you a nice smooth appearance, or if you like the little rippled effect when it's raised.
But how much customizing can you do with this in terms of colors and...
Oh my goodness, we have so many choices. We've got over 50 edge bindings. We've got several materials, probably about 60 or 70 materials you can choose from.
Now, when you say material, this is actually, it's bamboo, right?
These are bamboo, yes, and this bamboo is actually from the inside of some of this bamboo that you have here.
Yeah, I just ripped some off from the garden project outside, and what you've done for these is you've kind of split them into real thin. Are they woven on a loom or what?
They are woven on a loom, and actually each reed here is hand-fed through the loom. The weft is hand-fed, and the warp is stagnant.
So there's a person there that's actually inserting
Yes.
the slits of bamboo into it.
Yes, it's a lot of labor.
But it's made in China.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Thanks so much, Cindy. They're
Thank you,
really
Bob.
beautiful. Yeah.
Thanks.
And they give you privacy.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're still working with bamboo. We've got a few minutes left to look at one of the projects that's taking place out here in front of the house. This is real natural stuff that's been split, and this is beautiful black bamboo, which is a very popular ornamental clumping form. It won't take over a whole yard, and we've got it in this gorgeous pot. But the real action is our homeowner's brother, Kalo, is visiting from Thailand, where you live, and you are creating a special gift garden here for your sister and brother-in-law, and it's green bamboo, right?
Yeah, we split everything when it's green. That's the easiest way to work it.
And what you're creating is, well, we're going to see it next week when it's all done, but you're creating a series of these little fences.
Just woven, yeah, no hardware, no fasteners, strictly the friction of the weave to create a little partition fence.
And is this a technique that you've picked up living in Thailand? Is this something they do over there?
This is something that I've adopted in the work that I've done with bamboo over the years, and now I'm learning from all the weaving techniques that they use over in Thailand.
Yeah, because you're married to a
Hill
Thai.
tribe woman, actually, Lisu Hill tribe from the Tibetan plateau of China.
And so some of the textiles that you're wearing
Well,
are...
actually, these are pants that I make with my family in northern Thailand. And this is actually a Oaxaca, Mexico, Mexican vest.
So you're really into weaving and textile, and you're applying it here in bamboo.
Exactly, yeah, it's taking over my life, basically.
That's great. Give me a quick overview of what else is going to happen here.
Well, we've basically tried to create a little Zen space inside of all the busyness everywhere.
Right.
And so we've got a strong planting of vegetation in this corner, another partition fence on the back corner, and then a couple of small crotons that are going to come up and grow tall and slender in front of the windows.
And you've taught your niece, Aria, who's Teresa's daughter, how to cut the stuff.
She's actually doing all the final splits for the weave, the final preparation of splitting before we weave it into the fence.
It's very important to wear gloves because bamboo is razor-sharp stuff, isn't
After
it?
you split it, the edges are almost like, are beyond knife sharp, like razor sharp.
Yeah, let us see how you actually weave it together.
Sure, sure. The ideal weave is four warp pieces, and then you alternate. Just each piece goes in front.
So the four
or
warps
behind.
are the horizontal ones.
Exactly, your horizontals.
Now, it's still green and fresh. Will this dry up and become very rigid?
It'll get more rigid as it dries, and it'll turn a golden color for a long time, and then it'll start turning gray, and then eventually black and mildewy. But then by then you'll hopefully have access to more green bamboo, and you'll just change it out.
That's great. Thanks, Kalo. I can't wait to see the finished result. I thought we should point out that on the front of the property, we've got Jim's two daughters who are doing a wonderful job of putting in the mulch and getting all the dressings. And this section of the fence is already completed. It's very, very attractive. Thanks, girls. We're running out of time. Next week, we'll be showing you the completed project down to the furniture and the art, but we're out of time. Thanks for joining us.